On Wednesday, November 16th, a national webcast conference recognizing the United Nations dedication of 2011 as the International Year for People of African Descent was held at the African American Research Library in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This internet conference included participants from research libraries across the country, with speakers webcasting from as far as New York City, Denver, Colorado, and Atlanta, Georgia. The conference focused on gathering and maintaining the history of people of African descent and why it's so important to tell the story of the African diaspora. This web conference was developed by author Tyrone Ash, whose book The Story Grandpa Told of American and World African Legends and Culture was launched at the event. His book is the story of the African diaspora as told by a grandfather to his young granddaughter. The story takes the child on a journey through time from thousands of years before Christ all the way through to the modern day. Let's listen in on author Tyrone Ash as he explains the origins of his book about the little-known history of ancient African historical figures.
When I was in 10th grade in American history, I asked my teacher, American history teacher, how come the only black people in these history books are slaves? Go to the office, Mr. Ash. That was the extent of it. The way the book started was that my granddaughter asked a question. She asked me, well, GP, she called me GP for grandpa, and she says, why you like that? Well, my storyline was to answer that question, not so much in a personal kind of a way, but in a broader, worldly kind of way, talking about our ancestors. And I didn't know what other book out there that talks about the whole diaspora, because we talk about all the way in Africa, BC, Noah, Ham, the Kings, Imhotep, and we come right on up, right on through them, you know.
After the conference, we had a chance to have a conversation with the author about why this webcast and the story told in his book are so critically important.
I believe that in the discussion, we talked about the importance of moving forward with helping our young people, as well as older people, understand the basic details of our history. It's through our history that we're strong. From time to time, people want to talk about how the Jewish community is together, how the Haitian community is together, how the Jamaican community is together. Well, it all comes because of keeping a culture, understanding the history, and moving forward. And I think that we made some headway today, understanding that there's important for that consciousness to get raised again. This book is 98% of the personalities in the book are people of African descent. It was written that way purposely so that our people, people of African descent, can actually read their history. The book is able to be laid against American history book, a world history book. By doing it chronologically, you can actually see where people of African descent had impact with all of the history that's been written. And that was my goal.
Let's hear from some of the people who attended the conference about what they took out of this enlightening webcast.
The purpose of tonight's meeting, I believe, is to get information out about the African American experience. Make sure that people, young people as well as people of my age, also know the history of African Americans.
I am a supporter for Mr. Tyrone Ash. Truly encouraged and very inspired by his achievement to continue to inform our children as well as our community.
I've known Tyrone for a number of years, and by having the conference, the whole world is exposed to the information that's being shared. I think it's unique in that it opens the subject matter up to the whole world instead of just being just in a classroom or just being in one library.
We had an opportunity to speak via webcam to the little girl who was the inspiration for the book, author Tyrone Ash's granddaughter, Jordy Ash. Here's what she had to say about her grandpa's book.
I would like to recommend this book. I think the book is so important because it helps them learn about African culture and where they come from.
We welcome you to learn more about the story of the African diaspora by picking up your copy of Tyrone Ash's The Story Grandpa Told on the web at thestorygrandpatold.com. Thanks for watching.